fastest way to enroll anybody into anything is to show them what you can do for them, not tell them. It's about survival. I'm just trying to make some money. I'm just trying to have an employee. I'm just trying to make it go. I'm just trying to figure out how to generate income, right? And I went out and I started speaking for free. My number one customer acquisition strategy when I started this business was speaking for free. And I would speak at Rotary clubs and civic organizations. I called it the bad chicken circuit. You know why? They didn't have any money to give me, so they just gave me some bad chicken. Okay? And I'd go speak for free, because Stacy teaches a lot about doing events. An event is a showcase opportunity, yes or no? Yes. An event is the fastest way to enroll people. And trust me, I have enrolled hundreds of thousands of people into programs in my lifetime. The fastest way to enroll anybody into anything is to show them what you can do for them, not tell them. Okay, I could have sat in Tennessee today and called each one of you one by one. Most of you wouldn't have answered the phone. You wouldn't have known me. You had no idea if you wanted to do business with me or me work with you. Or I could come down here and spend 2 hours with you and show you what I could actually do and what I actually do for people. Now, which one do you think could enroll people faster? So we call that the showcase. And the showcase is where you show people. So my first strategy to build this business was to go out and show people what I could do, not tell them. So I'd go speak anywhere they would have me, anywhere for free. And one of my first speaking engagements, 2 big things happened. I went and spoke for 20 minutes at a Rotary Club, and one guy come up and said, "Do you have an office?" And I said, "No, sir. I'm just getting started. I was a high school basketball coach. I started this business with $7,500 in my bank account. No lines of credit, no investors, no loans, no nothing. All I had was confidence that I could help people." And this guy come up and said, "Do you have office space?" And I said, "No, sir. I don't have any office space." And he said, "Well, you do now. If you'll just bring your enthusiasm to my office, I'll give you a whole wing of offices for free." And that was my first office. Everybody see that? And that was from showcasing my talents. The next guy walked up to me and he said, "Look, I'm one of the top home builders in Tennessee." This was in spring of '08. He said, "We can't sell any houses right now. And I want you to come see me tomorrow. Because our people's got a bad attitude and we can't sell anything and we're all in the sewer cycle." And he said, "Come see me tomorrow and I will talk about you coaching my people." I went and saw him the next day and he said, "Will you coach my people for the next year?" And I said, "Sure. What does that look like?" And he said, "I want you to show up every week, every other week. I want you to coach everybody." And I said, "What do you want me to do with these people?" And he said, "I want you to infect them with your enthusiasm." I want you to remember that. How many of you just need a little enthusiasm? How many of you think selling insurance is really selling enthusiasm? It's hard to make insurance sexy, ain't it, folks? I mean, really, it really is hard to make insurance sexy. What you're really selling is a solution to a problem. You're not selling insurance. A lot of people sell insurance. You're selling a solution to a problem at the end of the day. And how many of you think it's a must-have versus a nice-to-have? How many of you think everybody really needs what you got? So when you think about it, what you're selling is an enthusiasm. So I went the next day, so I want you to coach my people. And he said, "How much is it going to cost me?" I had no idea what to say. I had no coaching program. I had no pricing structure. And I said, "I think it's going to be about $125,000. And he said, "Let's round it to 120 and get started." And I said, "Well, dang, I should have asked for $225,000. Right? And I started coaching his people. And guess what I found out? Guess what I found out they weren't doing? They weren't doing anything. They weren't prospecting and they weren't following up. And they were home builders, and when it rained, they all took the day off when it rained. And I'm like, "What? You take off when it rains?" And they had customers they'd never talked to. And they had lists they had never called. And they have leads that the guy was buying for them to call that they wasn't working. See, what they really weren't doing is they weren't working anything to sell anything. You with me? And it was so easy for so long. They built a false confidence. They were lazy. So after a little while, we get him up and going. He doesn't go out of business. That dude is now worth $350 million today that I was coaching back in '08. And I coached him through the recession. Okay, he thought he was going to lose everything. He's now worth $350 million because we fought through that. I taught him how to get up every day and keep fighting through it. Now, here's the deal. He said, "I want to introduce you to one of my friends in North Carolina." And I said, "I'm in." Right? And I went over to him and he said, "How much is it going to cost me?" And I said, $225,000. And he said, "Done." And next thing you know, I've got my little business has already got almost $400,000 of revenue. And I've got it going in the first couple of clients. And where did I get those clients again? I got them from going out and speaking for what? For free. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. You don't need more money, you need more people. The people have the money. And as long as people have problems, and they do, and they will, and as long as they have ambitions, and they do, and they will, there will always be a way to generate money. Does everybody see that? So I learned very early in this business I didn't need more money, I needed more people. Because once I got in front of people, I always enrolled customers. Okay? And everything went back to an event. See, Stacy actually saw me many years ago, I think in Birmingham, Alabama. Was that where I was?
It was actually a virtual event for Medicare Con.
Okay, a virtual event for Medicare Con. Now think about that. That's where she first saw me, at an event.
2021.
2021. And then she got my emails. And then one day she said, I want to hire this guy to be my coach. You don't need more money, you need more people. Money follows energy. Money follows movement. Money follows circulation. Money follows action. Money never follows stagnation. Money never follows whining, complaining. Money never follows when you're sitting. Objects at rest stay at rest unless acted on by an outside force. And so I started coaching all these people, and guess what I figured out? They were not clear in where they wanted to go. So if you're taking notes, I want you to put an A on the left side of your notepad, okay? And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I want you to put an A on the left side. And I wrote a book on this called From A to B. It's back there in the corner. And on the left side, you're going to put A, and I want to put under A, I want you to put current position. A is your current position. I do this exercise every single day. Every single day. A is my current position. And everything I don't like about my current position in life. Could I be grateful for everything I have but dissatisfied? Could I be blissfully discontented? Yeah, I could be here today and say, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything I have today, right? Everything. I'm not where I want to be, but thank God I'm not where I used to be. I'm grateful. But does that mean I'm satisfied? Does it mean I'm fulfilled? Does it mean I don't have more to give? Does it mean there's not a bigger future? Does it mean, see, when you start studying what we're going to talk about, which is the prey drive is an instinct inside of you to pursue something. An animal has a prey drive. It is the animal's ability to stalk, capture, and kill prey. When I heard that at a workshop many years ago taught by a former Vietnam veteran who's in the War Dog Division of the Vietnam War, his job was to wake up every morning and go ahead of the infantry with nothing but a dog. The dog's job was to sniff out bombs, booby traps, ambushes. Any day you think it's tough selling insurance, I want you to think about being in the Vietnam War in the middle of a jungle, waking up every day and it's just you and an animal. And you hope you don't step into an ambush. Think about the psychology you'd have to tell yourself every day. And he kept talking about that animal having a prey drive, P-R-E-Y-D-R-I-V-E. And I'm curious, I'm like, what is prey drive? What is prey drive? Prey drive, so I Google it. And it says an animal's ability to stalk, capture, and kill prey. And I go, boom. Humans have a prey drive. But it's not to stalk, capture, and kill something. It's actually to see something and pursue it. It's a drive inside of you to see something in the mind's eye and actually move toward it and pursue it. I trademarked those two words, prey drive in humans. I'm the only person on planet Earth who could talk about prey drive in a human. And then I wrote a book called Flip the Switch, which became a Wall Street Journal bestseller about the psychology of activating that drive in people. So your prey drive is your instinct to see something and pursue it, either with the eyes, optically, or in the mind. See, I spoke to 200 blind business owners one Saturday morning, and they came to me after I was finished, and they stood in line, and they said, I can't see it with my eyes, but I can see it in my mind. Thank you for activating my prey drive. See, some of you are here, your prey drive has gone dormant. It's latent, it's undeveloped, it's never been opened, it's never been activated. You're operating at a nominal level. You could be operating at this level, but you're operating at this level because that drive has never been activated. Per the book, the switch has never been flipped. So what happens when I don't have any goals and I don't have any dreams and I don't have a B is that I don't move toward that B. I don't have anything I move toward. So the reason I do the exercise is I go, okay, I'm at A. And A is my current position. And here's the things I don't like about A. I'm frustrated by these things. I'm irritated by these things. And if in an ideal world I woke up, what would B look like to me? So I want you to think of it as B over here. B is your ideal world. B is your ideal life. If you woke up tomorrow and life was as close enough to perfect as it could be, what would B be for you? What would it mean for you? Would you have a self-managing company? Would you be operating at a certain level? Would your insurance business be kicking off this much profit? Where would you live? What would you be doing? In an ideal world, what would it look like for you? See, in my ideal world, there's both tangible outcomes and there's intangible outcomes. The tangible outcomes is my company is hitting its sales targets every day. And I have daily targets, not weekly, not monthly. Everything to me is based on a day. Because here's what I notice when people tell me, well, I'll do better this quarter, or, I'll wait till next week, or this. What I like is daily goals, daily targets. It all goes to zero at midnight. We go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. Right? We never allow ourselves to get lazy or complacent. And you know why? Because we got a big B goal. So what does B mean to you? Right? B to me means I spend 3 nights a month with just me and my wife, reconnecting. B to me is I get to spend X amount of time with my kids because I travel all over the world. B to me is we live at our home in Florida up in the Panhandle 90 days out of the year. B to me is my company is hitting its revenue targets. B to me is my passive income is greater than my living expenses. B to me is I'm actually enjoying what I do every day. B to me is I wake up in the morning and do what I want to do with the people I want to do it with. That's B. In an ideal world, I'm moving toward a target. And what that does is it reactivates that prey drive. And where there's no goals, there's no prey drive. Where there's no target, there's no prey drive. Okay? So when you think about it, what is your B? Are you clear on what your B is? We do a couples retreat at our home in Florida. We do 6 couples retreats a year with 15 couples at a time. And the first exercise we do is the A to B exercise based on my book A to B. And what we find out almost 90% of the time is that the goal is totally different from the husband to the wife. They got 2 totally different B goals. He's ready to retire. She's ready to keep working. She's ready to retire. He's ready to keep working. This one wants to do this. This one wants to do this. They've never, ever, ever had a conversation about what they're actually trying to do, where they're actually trying to go. What is the target? So in the business, there's a target, and the target is like, this is what we're trying to achieve over here. Now, in between A and B are some things that keep us from getting there. So the first problem people have is what I call opportunity confusion. And opportunity confusion is there's so many things you could be doing, you're not clear on the top 3 opportunities available to you. And we call those level 10 opportunities. So when I'm doing this exercise, I ask myself this question: what are the top 3 level 10 opportunities available to me that I need to be focused on? I did this on the plane on the way down here. Does everybody see how I did that? This is called mental mapping. This is where I actually tell my brain these are the biggest opportunities available to us right now that I need to be focused on. Because there's so many things we could be focused on that there's randomness in motion, there's confusion. So it's like, what should I be focused on? Everything goes back to the A to B exercise. Okay? And so what's keeping us from going from A to B? So you would see me do a lot of mental mapping, and what I'm doing is I'm telling my brain over and over and over, this is what I'm trying to do. Because when I wrote the book, Flip the Switch, guess what I figured out? The brain's lazy. It will actually just get up and keep doing the same thing as long as you let it. It'll take the same way to work. It'll do the exact same thing every day. But when you tell the brain exactly what you want it to do, it goes from being lazy to like a supercomputer. And it starts moving toward it. Guess what it starts looking for? Who can help me hit these goals? So guess what's typically in between A and B? I'm going to give you 5 things that's between A and B. Number 1, knowledge. You don't know how to get from A to B. Now let's be honest. If you knew how to get to A to B, you would have already done it. Yes or no? See, people come to me and they say, well, I'm making $100,000 a year and I really want to make $500,000 a year. And I say, well, how long have you made $100,000 a year? And they say, well, for the last 10 years. And I say, but you told me you wanted to get to $500,000 a year, and if you knew how to do it, you'd have already done it. But does somebody else know how to do it, yes or no? Here's the question. Would you pay to be in a room with those people if you could do it? If they could show you exactly how to do it? Would it be worth it, yes or no? I wrote 18 books before I had a Wall Street Journal bestseller. 18. Do you know the only difference between the first 17 and the 18th one? I got tired of not hitting that list, and I hired a coach. I paid that coach $18,000 for 3 hours. I said, look, I want to learn how to do this. The best written books don't hit the Wall Street Journal best-selling list. It's the best marketed books. It's all a big game. It's how many books you can sell in a concentrated period of time. It's all the marketing prior to the book. The only difference between the first 17 books and the 18th was somebody knew how to do it, and I didn't know how to do it. So let me ask you a question. If I paid the $18,000, how many of you think that's a lot of money, number one, for 3 hours? Raise your hand if you think that's a lot of money. Okay, what if I told you I generated 10,000 leads with the book for the $18,000? Now is it a lot of money? If I can't take 10,000 leads and generate $1 million of business, then what am I doing? Why am I in this business? So I paid $18,000 to learn a skill that I didn't have. I now have that skill for the rest of my life. Therefore, every book I write from this point forward, I know exactly how to hit that list, and I know exactly how to sell 10,000 units of something. And I don't look at it's the book that I'm doing, I'm looking at the leads that I'm generating. And there's no way in the world I couldn't get that investment back. So $18,000 is not a lot of money if it gives me the ability to generate another $500,000 or $1 million of business. Can we all agree on that one? Now let me ask the question again. Is $18,000 a lot of money? It's all in comparison to what you use the $18,000 for. See, some of you have been at an income level for probably the last 15 years of your life, and there's somebody who could show you how to get to the next income level, but there's some kind of fee to get in a room with them, and you go, I ain't spending that money. If I helped you make $1 million more in a year, would you give me $200,000 of it?